Good evening, friends. Market is extremely volatile, and this has been the trademark of 2024. It's not allowing any trend to get established. Classical example, yesterday market went down, today market moved up. And there are reasons for that, and I'll discuss that. Two main reasons which I could attribute this volatility, and I'll discuss those things in my presentation, and then we'll open the floor for question and answer. But before I start webinar, a small disclaimer. This webinar is only to enhance your understanding about the equity market. Please consult your financial advisor before buying or selling any stock. Investment in securities are subject to market risk, and past performance is no indicator of future returns. Now, if you look at it, yesterday, Modi made a statement in the parliament, Lok Sabha. And what did he say? He said that BJP will get 370 plus seat in the Lok Sabha election, which is going to take place in next couple of months. He also made that other partners of BJP, that is called NDA, they will get 400 seats. Now, if you look at it in 2014, BJP got only 282 seats, which is again a clear-cut majority, no doubt about it, which increased to 303. And now we are talking about 370 plus, which is a huge jump that Modi has predicted. In terms of, we have total 545 seats in the parliament, and if 400 is with the, what we call NDA, clear-cut 2/3 majority that NDA will have. Now, that's one reason market today moved up. And market also started believing that this is possible. Why is that possible? Why the opposition has died or what? Why would the opposition will not fight this election? Because 545 may say, Modi is saying only 145 will remain with the non-NDA, this one, which is a very small number, isn't it? But market yet believe what Modi has said. And the reason is very simple, because this India alliance seems to be withering away. There are some development which has happened in last couple of weeks that makes market believe. It is not my assumption. That is, market believe that there is no credible opposition which can take on the popularity of Mr. Modi. If you go to the West Bengal, Trinamool Congress has announced that they will fight all alone in the West Bengal Lok Sabha election. Something similar was announced by Aam Admi Party in Punjab, and most probably they will do something very similar in Delhi also. Nitish Kumar, which was more credible face within the India alliance, decided to part ways from the India alliance, joining hands, and again become a Chief Minister of Bihar. In Maharashtra, there is a little clarity in terms of how many seats Congress will going to fight, how many seats Shiv Sena Uddhav Thackeray faction is going to fight, and how many seats NCP, that is National Congress Party of Sharad Pawar, is going to fight. So wherever there is a regional party, there seems to be a little dilemma about, and when regional parties are strong, it seems that they are not in a mood to give enough number of seats to the Congress. In Gujarat, there is no challenge. Why? Because Gujarat and Congress and BJP fight head on. Something similar we can expect in Rajasthan. But in Uttar Pradesh, we don't know how many seat Congress can fight, how many seat SP, that is Samajwadi Party, will fight, and so on and so forth. In Kerala also, there seems to be a fight between how many Congress will fight and how many other India Alliance members are going to fight. So there is a clear-cut message that is coming out, and market believes that since there is no credible opposition, what Modi has said yesterday, 370 plus and NDA 400, seems to be more plausible of what we call probability that can happen. And Modi made a statement that if I come in a third term, it's going to set for next 1,000, that kind of stuff. He made a statement. And we all know that the popularity of Mr. Modi went up further after Ayodhya event at Ram Mandir. So in clear-cut, market seems to be believing that this is a bull case scenario कि भाई मोदी आने वाला है. अगर मोदी आने वाला तो फिर चिंता किस बात की? There will be reform, there will be a continuity of policy actions and so on and so forth. Even if you look at the budget, I think Ms. Nirmala Sitharaman sounded very, very positive that they are going to present the next budget, which is going to come in the month of July. So very clear-cut, and she said that I did not tinker anything because it would be a wrong precedent, because I could not have done then what I wish to do or what we wish to do in the July budget. So that's the one part. But if you look at now some interesting data which bears are talking about, that's why we are saying the volatility. Right? कोई ऊपर खींच रहा है, कोई नीचे खींचने की कोशिश कर रहा है. Both have a very solid reason for their justification. So what I did actually, I have put the data about India's market cap to GDP ratio. So if you look at the data from 2007, which was the peak of the market, till 2023, the market cap to GDP, this is not Feb 2020, March 2020, I stand corrected, is 82%. So if you look at the India market cap GDP, on an average has been 82%. India right now market cap is 387 lakh crore. India's GDP, the end of financial year FY 2024, this is a financial year, would be 300 lakh crore. In other words, our market cap to GDP is 129 for this financial year. We all know that budget has predicted that India's nominal GDP is going to grow at 10.5% next financial year. So hence, the GDP will increase to 330 lakh crore. So even if you look at 1 year forward GDP, market cap to GDP, we are at 117%, which is much higher than what India has always been commanding, 82%. Now there's one line of argument could be that since India has been growing, why should it command the same historical average? It should command more than the average. But the point is, how much more? Can it be 50% more than what it has been commanding? Because 82 cut 50% is 150% 120. We are at 129% as we speak. So how much more that we should be commanding? Now someone would argue there are countries which are commanding more than this. Rightly so. US is more than 200%. Japan, which has struggled for many, many years, is 151% to market cap GDP ratio. Canada, 135%. We are very close to that. If you look at China on the other end, while this is a bull case scenario, China is only 46%. Germany market cap GDP is only 58%. UK is only 99%, which is less than 100. Korea is 99% again, and France is 117%. So which is clearly gives an idea. तो भैया are saying बस मार्केट चलेगा कैसे, यहाँ से तो वैल्यूएशन बहुत ज़्यादा है. So that's another concern. So one day when the bull get an upper hand because some reason it pushes up, the next day market gets little jittery about the valuation and it goes down, and that's why we see a tug of war between the bull and bear in 2024. Now there's two school of thoughts. One school of thoughts believes that till the election is not done, market will remain, the mood will remain very, very optimistic. Why? Because for some reason if the mood goes down, it may be counterproductive for the ruling party. Because it sometimes people say that the mood of the market also decides the mood of the nation, and it could impact the election outcome. Now, that could be only applicable to those who are in the stock market, but stock market does impact other behaviors also in the market, in the economy. Like if the stock market is doing well, you tend to spend more even though you're not locking the profits. And if the market is not doing so well, then even though you are making only nominal, what we call not nominal, but what we call book loss only, people tend to spend less, and that does affect the economic activity. So that's a one school of thought, that it is in the interest of the ruling government just to keep coming out with the reforms, keep coming out with the positive news that can keep the market in a good mood. Another school of thought believes that was wo to baat ki baat hai, with all that has to be done, that can happen somewhere in the month of April and May when the elections are around the corner. But abhi 2 mahine tak kyun chala ke rakhe? So we don't know what's going to happen. Even I don't have any clue on that, what's going to happen. The only thing we have been advising investors, be little careful. What we have been advising since beginning of January 2024, कि थोड़ा संभल के रखो, जो कंपनी में पैसा बन रहा है, and you believe that story for which you bought it no longer holds true, you should lock in the profits. We have done that in PMS. We keep doing that in PMS, where we have a certain threshold which we have been defined, and once that threshold are breached and then scripts start falling by certain percentage within the threshold, we book profits from those. And I would request you people also to apply very similar. But at no point of time we are suggesting you to get out of the market. Why? Because we don't know when the market will fall at all, if it is going to fall, if at all. And even if it's fall, it becomes very difficult when you re-enter the market. So what we are saying, good from wherever possible, lock in profits where the story is no longer hold true, which for reason for which you bought it. Reinvest that amount in good quality companies. Okay, so that's what we are suggesting. There's another news which has come, and I think it's now the matter seems to be, the debate is no longer required. Don't expect any rate cut from the Fed in the March FOMC meeting. And if you happen to listen to the interview given by the Jerome Powell other day, day before yesterday, I think day before yesterday, where in a 1 hour interview, he clearly stated that rate cut is not on the table for the March. So, वो ruled out होगा. May में होगा कि नहीं होगा, that's again a debate. I'm talking about the very near term. The job market data, which clearly is on Friday, last Friday, doesn't give an indication that there is a balanced equilibrium coming between the demand and supply in the job market. Very, very strong data. And sometimes good news is bad news. And that's exactly what is happening on the US. So no, don't expect. RBI, which is going to declare its MPC, the Monetary Policy Committee is going to announce the decision on Thursday, coming Thursday, day after tomorrow, on 8th. Don't expect any rate cut. It's a status quo. And other central banks across the world have preferred to maintain the status quo. And one reason, if you go through each and every one, of course, RBI, I'm just preempting, I don't know what RBI is going to do. But everyone seems to be saying that even though the inflation has come down, they are not very sure it will continue to remain low for a longer period. They need to get convinced before they basically start cutting the rate of interest. Now, in all this thing, let's what happened to the market last week, because budget was there, FOMC meeting was there. The market did extremely well. Mid and small cap up by 3.1%. Nifty is up by almost 2%. Sensex is up by 1.5%. But each and every indices, whether it's a sectoral, whether it's a mid, small, large, everyone close in the red, close in the green. Sorry. When you look at the YTD, Bank Nifty continued to struggle. It's down by 5.4%. Nifty Finance again 5.2%. FMCG seems to be struggling, but PSU stocks are on the fire. They were on the fire in 2023. They continue to be on the fire. Pharma is up by 10%, which we like. Nifty Infra, which is up by 9.4%, which we like. and the mid and small cap have extremely outperformed the Sensex and the Nifty. While the Sensex is down 0.1%, Nifty is down by Nifty is up by 0.9%. So ऐसा लगता है कि मार्केट में बहुत बड़ी तेजी आ गई, but if you look at 2024, both Nifty and Sensex are almost at the same level what they were in 2020. The reason why everyone is feeling little gung-ho about the market purely because of a rally in the mid and the small cap. But those who hold higher exposure to Bank Nifty, Bank and Nifty Finance, I think they are underperforming very significantly. Most of the mutual fund will underperform because they do have a lot of exposure to the bank and the finance. FI is positive for the month of Feb till now, but it's too early. And index numbers so far. There is no much change. Only thing, the net profit growth Y-on-Y has declined, which was 30% last week, is come down to 24.5%. But quarter on quarter, net profit decline. If you happen to listen to the commentary, no one is talking about gloom and doom scenario, but at the same time, they are not predicting a very robust growth also. They are cautiously optimistic. That's the right word I can put it. And almost now we are in the very fag end of the result season. Why? Because 75% in terms of market cap already declared the numbers. So out of 386, 387 lakh crore, maybe 290 lakh crore would have already announced the number market cap. So now the balances will going to come out in next 10 days or so. But overall, we don't expect much change to the number that are there on the front of the screen. And if you look at the declared companies, जो जिन्होंने declared number कर दिया है, when I look at their TTM price to earning, it is at 25x, which is little premium to what they have been commanding in the past. Now, there is a debate. They should logically command higher premium, but how much higher? And I think there is no scientific formula that can tell us that only in hindsight we would realize that this was too low or this was too high in the sense. So that's what my presentation is. Let's open the floor for question answer. Samir, it's pleasure to listen to you. I have two questions. Your views on rally in oil, gas and petroleum companies, is a bubble or rating of these companies was due, and your views on hydroelectric sector for future. See, I am little contra, to be honest with you. I am not very sure this OMC companies can be a value creator. Why? Because prices at the petroleum at the petrol pump is decided by the government. For some reason, and our base case assumption is that price of diesel and petrol will get reduced before the election. That's our base case scenario. If that happens, whether this comes at the cost of impact margin to the oil marketing companies or not, we don't know. It's very difficult to say. The only thing is that there is a strong undercurrent rally in the PSU stocks. And all this oil, gas and petroleum companies are getting benefit of that. So, Samilji, if you wish to really take an exposure, you will remain little nimble-footed. Because I don't want you to basically, you need to have a very strong, what we call, stop loss criteria, just to ensure that you don't err on the wrong side. And about the hydroelectric also, the future, remember the problem is that I don't know about this year hydroelectric. Why? Because there is a water reservoirs are little less. Water, like if you remember, even this month, in the month of January, the rainfall has been quite less. In the month of Feb, those who are wheat producing state, the IMD predicted that there will be more, the temperature will be higher than what it has been historically has been. If that is going to be the case, I think the hydroelectric company will still struggle to produce the desired output from the hydropower plant. So I think that's where my stand. I don't think they are going to come out with a very good set of numbers. And if that's so, will market give that kind of a premium then? That one has to wait and watch. Neha is saying, if a stock suddenly goes up by 10% or more, is it a good idea to book profit, some profit? No, ma'am. So don't go by that assumption. If it has gone up by 10%, lock in the profits. Again, I repeat, Neha ji, why did you buy the company? You would have some reason for that. If that reason continues to be there, then enjoy the upright. Am I right? But if the reason for which you bought is no longer hold true, maybe because of valuation, maybe because the story you believe, abhi ye story khatam and you want to exit, then lock in the profits. Am I right? So if you think, you thought valuation was very, very cheap. Now that valuation comes to a situation जहाँ से यहाँ पे risk return ज़्यादा है नहीं, and then you decide to exit, please do exit that. That's also a valid reason. But you should have the reason why you want to be this one. Without reason, just because the script moved up by 10%, I should get out of that company. I don't think that's a very strong reason to do that. Shyam Sundar ji, it is of charging as low as 0.4% of AUM. Your aim is to create alpha over index funds or benchmark. Which is your benchmark? Is it BSE 500? Yes, sir, it's a BSE 500. So now SEBI has made it very clear cut. What you can't pick and choose the benchmark. We can't do on shopping of benchmark. Am I right? It is defined. If it is a multi-cap fund, you can pick and choose BSE 500. If it's a large cap, then it's a Nifty 50 and so on and so forth. In your case, PMS makes return of 20% CAGR over 5 years. What will be your expense ratio or charges? Shyam Sundar ji, see, these are so okay, what we are saying is that we will outperform the benchmark significantly. And someone had asked me also the question, will it be also be after considering the profit share fees that we have and other costs and other things? Then my answer was yes. So that's what we will do. Now you are saying, see, within the ETF also you need to understand that which ETF you are going to go. Are you going to go for mid cap? Are you going to go for small cap? Are you going to go for Nifty 50? What allocation, so on and so forth. So, people do say, like other day I was discussing with someone, we do a composite index on our website. Now the composite index is nothing but a function of what you bought and what you sold based on the market cap and so on and so forth. And I said, boss, you never had a view on the market cap. You had a view on the company. That's why you bought and sold. And there is nothing called composite index. If you wanted to buy composite index, you could have never bought it. So whether you so idea is that logically you should be outperforming the benchmark, which is whatever, but not the composite index, because composite index is a function of what you bought and sold. It was not available off the sale that you could have bought it. Am I right? So same way, just you can go for BSE 500, Shyam Sundar ji, and if you are able to outperform, see again you are saying 20% CAGR. Okay, what was the expense ratio? Expense is very clear cut. We charge 0.75% per annum is a fixed fees and 1% for those who are non-infinity members and 15% profit sharing. Now you make your calculations and see what kind of returns it would work out to be. We are again confident we'll outperform the benchmark significantly after meeting all the expenses. Sandeep is, sir, you are asking a $1 billion question. If I wish I knew the answer, what is the best way to know that certain stock is topping the price and time to sell? Sir, कोई magic formula नहीं है उसका, Sandeep ji. I'll give you one classical example. We don't claim that we will always be able to sell at the top of the price, and we never claim that we will always be able to buy at the bottom of the price. कोई मैजिक फॉर्मूला नहीं है सर. This happens to, I'll give you a classical example of Warren Buffett. And this is recently, not very far. So Warren Buffett invested in airline stocks. And in fact, he bought each and every airline company listed in the US. Which he was always normally against investing in airline stock, but somehow he got convinced and he bought. And somewhere in June or July 2020, he exited from airline stock. Just Google search and you'll get all this data. And since then, airline stocks have gone up by at least 1x, 2x, I'm to say. It has gone up substantially. Now, Warren Buffett जैसा बंदा समझ नहीं पाया कि टॉप में कहाँ भेजेगा. Something similar happened with Rakesh Jhunjhunwala when he was alive. Something similar must be happening with Ramdev ji and all other stalwarts in the market. तो कोई मैजिक फॉर्मूला नहीं है सर उसका. मैं एक ही शब्द बताता हूँ सब लोग को, एक ही सिंपल चीज़ बोलता हूँ, व्हेन यू थिंक योर प्राइस हैव कम प्लीज गेट आउट. फिर वो एंड देन यू शुड लीव दैट हैबिट ऑफ ट्रैकिंग दैट कंपनी. उसके बाद क्या हुआ? वाई? बिकॉज ह्यूमन माइंड इज दैट अरे यार छे बहुत जल्दी बेच लिया. अरे बाबा, यू री इन्वेस्टिंग दैट मनी इन सम अदर कंपनी, एम आई राइट? सो आई हैव फॉर्म ए वेरी सिंपल हैबिट. वंस आई गेट आउट ऑफ ए कंपनी आई विल नेवर लुक एट द प्राइस अगेन. इसमें दुखी होना है, सुखी कभी होना नहीं है. So the moment you realize that fact that I'll never be able to sell at the top of the price, you are at peace in your mind. And if you keep looking at, अरे यार स्क्रिप्ट और ऊपर चला गया, it's a useless exercise. Because अगर वो ऊपर चला भी, would you have been able to get out of that company? I'll give you a classical example. Okay, there was a company called Vakrangi Limited. I don't know how many people basically aware about that. The script moved up from 40-45 rupees. I think if my memory serves me, it went till 500 rupees or something. Someone to whom I know got out at 250. And then he was repeating so badly, अरे क्या यार जल्दी बेच दिया, so and so forth. मैं उसको यही सवाल था, तू क्या 500 में बेचने वाला था क्या? बोलता शायद पता नहीं मुझे बेचूंगा कि नहीं बेचूंगा. तो मतलब then basically it's just a imaginary numbers in your mind. Actually, at what price you would have sold, probability is very high that you would have sold less than 250 rupees price. Very, very high probability. But have you not seen that? तो उसका कोई मतलब ही नहीं. तो have a very simple formula to apply. And again, sir, that's what I explained to Neha. I'll again explain to you. The reason for which you bought a company, does that reason continues to hold true? If the answer is yes, please continue to hold. If the answer is no, please get out. See, today I own in my personal portfolio company which I have been holding for almost more than a decade now. And they have gone up substantially also. But I have not locked in the profits, am I right? Oh, किसी ने सवाल पूछा 10% उछलन का. Why? Because the reason why I bought those company continues to hold true there. And if that is so, why should I get out? But I have booked losses also where I realize the reason for which I bought this company no longer holds true. I'll get out. I'll give classical example. I did not book losses, I booked profit, but I'll give a classical example of that. There's a company called Tata Consumer. So that was previously called Tata Global Beverages, and I bought when the name was Tata Global Beverages. Why? Because Tata Chemical sold business, now Tata Namak, to Tata Global, then they changed the name to Tata Consumer. Sunil Damania, who has been who was Whirlpool, has a brilliant track record of creating wealth for the shareholders. Two things are happening simultaneously. One is that company, which was more of a commodity, going into and the Tata sold का जो margin था वो बढ़िया था. So I did that analysis, and I on the सोने पे सुहागा था, Sunil Damania coming as the new CEO, MD. I got into that company. And when I realized that the reason why this company guy has been brought in, and they were supposed to make pulses from unbranded to branded kind of a stuff and so on and so forth, somewhere I realized that story doesn't seem to be playing out the way it should play out. I got out of that company. Why? Because I said the reason why I bought this company no longer holds true. Why? Because the strategy seems to be not able to fulfill. And I'm very happy that I got out of it. I'll give you another classical example. I was holding HDFC for quite some time. And somewhere in Jan 2019 or Jan 2020, I got out of HDFC. Okay. The reason I got out of it, because the reason why I bought that company, that reason was no longer holding true in terms of the growth prospects. I got out, and I got into one mid-cap cement company, which I continue to hold today. And when you look at that company, and I've still not exited, am I right? It's gone up substantially, almost 6x. HDFC has not gone up 6x. What does this say? The reason why you bought it. So, that reason, if it no longer holds true, please make an exit, profit or a loss. Unfortunately or fortunately, I made profit. Like Infosys is another example, which I've said many times. Well, this Sikka was as a MD, and when I attended that analyst meet, I was not convinced of what he was saying. I got exited out of that company, got into one chemical company, unrelated. वो large cap था, वो mid cap थी, chemical company. So, reason why you basically get in, that reason no longer hold to get out of that. So that's what I did actually, and there's something similar. I would advise you to do that. Those who are in PMS, we do have an IP. Those who are using MarketsMojo, we do have a score on the company. You can use that to decide when you wish to exit. Praful Gala sir is saying, hope all is well. Why is India's credit rating not improving despite showing such a good fiscal marksmanship during COVID and over last few years, and showing how resilient our economy and markets are? All the three agencies have lowest investment growth in India with stable outlook, whereas China, which has the tough time over the years, now still enjoys safe investment rating. Our GSEC also yielded better return than most emerging markets, but still our rating remains low. Don't you think the X of a deterrent of FPS to invest wrong this hamper future? Want this hamper? So Gala sir, you are absolutely right. Now, why they are not doing it? Only they can answer. Credit rating companies can only answer. I think government also made a pitch for that. I am under the impression that government and rating agencies are under dialogue just to ensure that whatever data point they need, that providing that, who knows, we could see some positive news happening on that front. But right now what we are saying is right, that India's rating, see, but is that the impediment as such in terms of getting FDI? Is it an impediment in terms of getting FI? The answer is no. Only thing that will help us definitely is improving the borrowing cost for India and India Inc. actually. But we need to wait and watch. I am very hopeful that in next 12 months, India should see a rating improvement. Why? Because India would be one of the fastest growing economy. The glide path that of fiscal deficit, which would be about 4.5% by FY 2026, has already been reiterated. Strong government at the center and so on and so forth does call for the rating upgrade. But only best people to answer are the rating agencies, sir. Nagarajan, I am in the progress of adding my PMS account by migrating and excelling X Infinity stocks. One of my energy stock gained around 20% today, done alone in my X Infinity portfolio. Shall I sell this and deposit money or transfer the stocks to PMS? So Nagarajan sir, what we have been advising our customer has been that please sell your stocks, give us the money. So you are starting on a clean slate. Am I right? Which will help you to also understand the performance of the PMS portfolio. Number one. Number two, when you give us the shares, if those companies are held in our system, also we'll continue to hold those companies in the PMS also, as per the IP. But when you give us the money, our IP will look at the fresh, because we will deploy the funds and it will select the stocks which are available as of today, which are the best stock available. And hence it will invest. And hence the probability, Nagarajan sir, is that the money that you give us, the cash amount that you give us, outperforming significantly is much higher as compared to stocks. I'm not saying it is all probability, because we have very mixed signal. I'll be very honest with you. Those we have given money has outperformed also, and those we have given money also underperform. At the same time, those we have given stocks also have outperformed, and those we have transferred stocks have also underperformed. So there is no firm trend. But over a longer period of time, my sense is that if you give us the money, that is a better chance of outperformance, significant outperformance as compared to stocks. I again say this is all probability. Frank, hi Sunil, a resilient global economy still limping along with the growing divergence, likely over soft landing has increased. But growth forecast lowest in the decades. What is your take on the economy, India and world? So Frank sir, I think very recently IMF has basically revised the global growth upward, not downward. India's GDP also has been revised upward. The government assessment is that India should grow at 7.4% in FY 2024 and near about 7% in FY 2025. So right now, things are looking much brighter than what they were looking maybe 6 months back on the global economy front. But as you all know that this data keeps changing, and when the days and when the new data comes in, people can downward also. The revision can be downward also. So we need to wait and watch. But I think your question is right. But right now, I don't think there is a reason to worry about that the global growth is going to slow down. On the contrary, indications are that global growth will remain not only constant, there is a scope for improvement from this level. Harish is saying how performance fees are calculated. So, okay, let me explain you with a live example, with an example so that you can. Suppose, sir, you start with 1 crore. At the end of the 1 quarter, your portfolio value goes to 1.2 crore. And this 1.2 crore after that fixed fees of 0.75% per annum. Am I right? So it goes to 1.2 crore after all expenses and this and that. How much money you made? 20 lakhs on the portfolio. Why? Because 1.2 crore minus 1 crore, that is 20 lakhs profit. We will take 15% profit on that, so that means 3 lakhs. Now 1.2 crore becomes your higher watermark. Now we have taken 3 lakhs as the fees, so actually your portfolio came down to 1.17 crore. At the end of the second quarter, the portfolio value goes down to 1.1 crore. Should you pay any performance fees? Answer is no. Why? Because now we can charge you performance fees only as and when the portfolio goes well above 1.2 crore. That's a higher watermark. So we will not charge you 1.1 crore. At the end of the third quarter, the portfolio value goes to 1.15 crore. Now you made money in that quarter, but still below 1.2 crore numbers. Should we again charge performance fee? Answer is no. Now at the end of the fourth quarter, the portfolio value goes to 1.25 crore. From 1.15 crore to 1.25 crore. Should you pay performance fee? Answer is yes, but not on the 10 lakhs. That's why 10 lakhs, how did I get 10 lakhs? 1.25 minus 1.15. No, we will not ask you to pay for that. We'll ask you to pay only on 5 lakhs, which is higher watermark was 1.2 crore, your portfolio value is 1.25 crore. Difference, this one between these two is 5 lakh, and we'll ask you to pay only on 5 lakh 15%, which is 75,000. So that's how this performance fees get calculated in the PMS. Suresh sir is saying my power portfolio is now from loss of 2 lakhs was appreciated to 40% upwards, and now 12 lakhs gain. Whether I should withdraw 50% value or wait to advise for sale? Please advise. I fear market may go down in market due to selling pressure by mutual fund. So Suresh sir, I am very, very happy, sir, that your portfolio, which was 2 lakhs down, is appreciated to 40% upward, and now 12 lakhs gain. Whether you should withdraw 50% of the value and wait advice for sale? Nahi sir, mat karo. Don't try to time the market. My request would be very simple. So sir, assume that what you are saying is right, that market is going to go down. Assume for it right now. You will not be able to reinvest that amount when market hits the bottom. So what will happen? You will get frustrated because you miss that bottom. Market would go up. You said, "Nahi, और नीचे आएगा." You'll self-convincing yourself. नीचे आएगा, बाद में करूँगा. Market keep going up, up and up, and in a way you will miss out in a big manner. So what we say, Suresh sir, don't look at 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. That's not the way to look at PMS. In fact, I don't know, some investors have form a habit of keep looking at portfolio daily. But bhai, tu kya kar raha hai? What do you want to do in life? So I suggest don't look at the end of 3 years and see what is the gain that you, because there will be period where portfolio may come down, there will be period where portfolio may underperform, there will be a period where the portfolio outperform. What matter at the end of the day, whether you created wealth from a PMS service or not, and that's very, very critical. So abhi 50% upper hai, to should I lock in profit? And this, don't do that, sir. We have seen investors making more than 100% profit also in the portfolio in Infinity. Why would you want to lock in that profit so early? Again, Peter Lynch's statement, do not cut flowers, do not water weeds. Of course, whatever gain can come down because of market going down. But then you are not playing for the short term, you are playing for the long term. So if I would be in a place, I will not do anything because we have IP, we know what we want to do and we will do whatever needs to be done in terms of locking in profits, whether we do that. We are working on that, to be honest with you. But we'll come in front of you once we finalize our strategy on that. So don't worry, your money is at the safe hand, sir. Sir, as per news, China's stock market lost more than $7 trillion market cap in last 3 years. The World Bank has also downgraded the growth rate of China in this year. Is it not a cause of concern for entire world stock market? Will it not affect the prospects of metal sector? Your was in this aspect is highly appreciated. So, sir, China market not performing is not a news for those who are attending the webinars. We did make a presentation to our customers in our webinar, in one of our webinars, where we seen that how China market in last 10 years gone nowhere, 0.2 point returns. It is not that China market is not performing now. It has been consistently underperforming. So if you look at 2023, while almost each and every stock indices moved up, Chinese stock indices did not move up. Even Hong Kong indices was in a red. So to make an assumption that they are not doing well, that's why our Indian market will also not do well, the theory has been completely busted in 2023. If you look at the last 10 years returns of Chinese market, it would be closer to zero. But Indian market in last 10 years extremely well. So hence, if China is not doing well, the world should not do well, world stock market should not do well. I don't see any correlation there. Am I right? Because that's not been proven historically also. And if that is so, why should it apply going forward? Now, prospects of metal sector definitely. If Chinese economy slow down, metal prices can, because China is the biggest producer and also and consumer also of the metal products. China is making an attempt to revive the economy and so on and so forth. They will do that. But till such time that doesn't happen, I think metal may continue to struggle a bit. Fortunately, some of the metal that get used in infra space, I think they've done reasonably well. And if you happen to listen to some of the metal companies post-result commentary, they sounded very positive on their prospects. So I think you need to look at the domestic play also, and you should look at also at the export, and then you to decide whether it's there or not. In fact, some of the non-ferrous metal, I believe today, one of the PSU non-metal companies seems to have hit 52-week high, despite the concerns on the China. Am I right? So there are various factors at play. China is one of the factors, but not the only factor. Nilesh is saying, what can be the minimum number of stocks in concentrated portfolio using Mojo stocks? Any thumb rules? So I suggest that don't go beyond 15 to 20 companies maximum. उससे ज़्यादा मत जाओ, because tracking का problem हो जाएगा, your portfolio will be too diversified, and due to that वो मज़ा नहीं आएगा, and more the number, more the headache. So my advice would be maximum 15 to 20. Many stocks purchased by Rakesh ji were stagnant in prices for many years. An example is Hyderabad-based hotel stock. You are right, sir. So then the GC, remember, when he says Rakesh ji, is referring to Rakesh Junjunwala. You are right, sir. See, no one knows. When you get into a company, you believe that company will appreciate, and sometimes can frustrate you very significantly. Am I right? And once you start doing very well, it compensates for the period which underperformed very significantly. And in fact, I've said many times, Surendra ji, that to create wealth in the market, from the equity market, you do not need each and every stock to outperform significantly. अगर आपके 3-4 स्टॉक भी आपके पोर्टफोलियो में अच्छे तगड़े चल गए, वेल यू हैव हाई एलोकेशन, आपकी नैया पार है, आपको ज़्यादा टेंशन लेने की जरूरत नहीं है. Something similar happened with Rakesh Junjunwala also. I think the biggest money that he made in stock market was from Titan. It's not that Lupin gave him money or Delta Corp gave him money or the stock that you talk about. made a money? No, it did not. So I think it's very, very critical that तो आपको 3-4 कंपनी मिल गई, आपका बेड़ा पार है. आप समझे? तो वो 3-4 कंपनी पर the only thing that you should not be too early to get out of those companies. Otherwise, what would happen? You will not be able to enjoy the ride of that upside of that company. That's why again Peter Lynch ka statement, don't cut the flowers, do not water the weeds actually. But we are absolutely dot on, sir. Yeah. And market known for frustrating investors, am I right? अच्छी से अच्छी company sometimes doesn't work. For many, many years, it frustrates you so badly that you get out and scripts start doing very well, then post your sale. But that's the nature of the market. You can't help it. If Rakesh ji cannot do it, who you and me are actually, we can also struggle on that front. I have a faith in MarketsMojo recommendation, Prince is saying, but I find we have largely missed the rate ride of PSU bus. How can this discount be arrested timely by MarketsMojo? So let me admit, Prince ji, we cannot be finding out each and every best stocks performing stocks. Sometimes stocks are also function of some reasons which we are not able to capture in our IP. Only in the hindsight one realizes that okay, these factors would have really worked and should we have it not. But our logic is to apply a logic which is consistent across all market cycle. Yes, if you look at it, some of the PSU stock, our investors did very well. Like for example, RITES, which was also stock of the month, did extremely well. Garden Rich did extremely well. Am I right? We were holding Hindustan Aeronautics, one of the first one to recommend that. Bharat Dynamics, one of the first one to recommend so and so. So I think somehow we played well in terms of even some of we are holding PSU stocks also in our Infinity. Am I right? PSU banks, when I say PSU stock, PSU banks also. So some of the, so it's not that we completely missed it, but your observation is right. Have we clearly played out in a very well manner? Answer is no. I admit that. But then that's how the market works. You know, you can't be attending all the, it's like you cannot be scoring century in every match. There'll be a period where you may not score the century even despite the betting pitch is really good. Sometimes you get out, in this one. And this is a classical example that reminds me, see how our behavior also changes with the new data point coming in. And again, I will take a analogy of a cricket, Shubham Gill. I was reading an article in one of the India's leading newspaper, how Shubham Gill in last so many matches have not been able to score even 50 runs. And hence, why should he be selected in the team? Now, apply the same logic in stock. और इतने साल से चला नहीं है, why should we add that company in the portfolio? Why should we continue to hold that stock? Now, एक century मार दी शुभम गिल ने, the same newspaper has changed his raga. Am I right? And something similar happened in the stock market also. Like IT is a classical example. It did not do well for donkeys years and then started doing well. It did extremely well. So this logic applies everywhere, sir. So that's why my request would be that we have not done that well in the PSU, all PSU stocks. We have done reasonably well, and we will not be able to capture all the story, all the theme, all the time. वो possible भी नहीं है. Am I right? NC Ramesan say, by hearing you regarding profit booking on PMS, why are you not deploying the same on model portfolio? It is very divergent. Yes, sir. We don't have any profit booking mechanism in our model portfolio, and reasons are very obvious there because the IP is different there altogether on the model portfolio, and the IP that we have on the PMS is different. Now on that IP on our PMS, we realize that profit booking as a mechanism, when you apply, it helps you to expand the returns. We don't have that kind of an empirical evidence in the model portfolio. That's why it's not been applied. But since your suggestion is there, my request, please request Karan on this, and maybe he will be able to take this forward on the model portfolio side. Udayan Ananga, sorry sir if I've been pronouncing Udayanag, if I pronounce it right. Good evening. As of now, we have total 9%, 96 stocks, including Mojo plus hidden turnaround plus reliable momentum stock. It is very difficult for us to pick 10 to 15 stocks based on the Mojo score, as hidden turnaround and momentum stock do not depend upon the Mojo score alone. You are right. Please help us in right selection and help us to Excel sheet scores. Thanks. So, sir, the 96 stocks are a function of different strategy. Now, each investors will have a different risk appetite. Am I right? Someone with a high risk appetite will go for the hidden turnaround or the momentum stocks. Someone say, boss, I can't stomach more volatility. I want to play safe. He may go for the Mojo stock or a reliable performer. So our job is to give you a buffet. If you go to a 5-star restaurant, there are various items that will line up. There will be a Japanese sushi may be there. There will be Italian pasta may be there. There will be Chinese noodles would be there. There will be South Indian counter would be there. There will be North Indian. There will be chat counter also, pani puri, ragda patties, and so on and so forth. Our job is to give you that buffet. You pick what you like the most because it's your risk appetite. Someone like pizza, and someone may like pasta, and someone may like sushi, and someone may like pani puri and bel puri and sev puri. We said because we are serving to the very wide and the vast nature of the customers across the what we call world. Everyone has a different risk appetite. So it's very difficult for us to basically then say only ye karo or wo karo because each one risk appetite is different. So my advice would be to very simple, sir. You decide what is your risk appetite, and then you decide. Other option would be basically very simple. आपको 10-15 स्टॉक लेना है, हमारा 4 स्ट्रेटेजी है मोजो 1 में. You pick 4 companies from each strategy and make a combination of that by putting equal amount. For example, you have 10 lakhs. Say, okay, I'll put 2.5 lakh in Mojo stocks, divide into 4 stocks, so 60,000 each. Then 4 stocks from hidden turnaround. These are all the suggestions. These are not I'm saying you should do that. Hidden, reliable 4 stocks and momentum 4 stocks, 2.5 lakh each, and play that way. I think that is one way you can play. You can say, no, I want to take more risk. I will put more money in hidden turnaround and momentum. So do that. You can put 75% in this to study 20, balance 25 in Mojo stock and reliable, and so on and so forth. So you need to decide what is your risk appetite and how you wish to play that. If you don't want that jhanjat, come to PMS. Of course, in PMS, we don't invest momentum stock or reliable stock, but come to PMS while we will take care of how much we need to buy, which company we need to buy, and we'll decide when to exit and so on and so forth. But this is the way I would recommend you, sir. Sankar is saying, is there any app available to calculate CAGR? Sir, you just put it in an Excel sheet and it will help you to calculate the CAGR. And Excel में वो formula भी मिला है, तो आप Google search कर लीजिए सर कि how to find calculate CAGR in Excel sheet. It's very simple. You don't need any app. Excel sheet will do the work for you. And nowadays, everyone would have an Excel sheet available on their laptop or on their the desktop. Nirmalaya Biswas is saying, what is the suggestion of putting around 3.5 lakhs in stock market through Mojo for quarterly half-year income instead of holding long as I need income support? So my request would be, sir, ma'am, I believe it's a ma'am, don't do that. If you want to run, don't put that money in the equity market because equity market by nature is volatile. It's basically known for giving you non-linear returns. Now you need to support you on daily, monthly income or quarterly. Not necessarily the market will oblige you with that because sometimes it can frustrate you, which we have seen in 2022 very badly. Am I right? So and we suggest everyone when you want to allocate to the equity, please allocate only those money which you don't need for next 3 to 5 years. And that's the best way you can create wealth. Any money which you need, you have a visibility that you need after 1 quarter or 6 months or 1 year, that money should never come to the equity market. Please put that money in a safe instrument, even though you will make less, but at least when you need that fund, it's available with you. And you don't run into a stress situation because of that. Guru is saying one of the chemical fertilizer company in my sole portfolio declared negative result with a substantial drop in the financial trend score. The company has also fallen substantially in last 2 days. What is the action are we taking in this? Also, is there any way we can predict about a company going to negative score earlier to avoid such scenarios? Guru sir, let me answer the second part first. We don't have any mechanism, sir, that where we can predict that this company is going to be negative. So we don't have that. We don't take into consider any predictions also in our IP. Company is fallen. I know which company are taking, and we are taking action. What needs to be done, sir? So don't worry. We are doing what needs to be done on that particular company. Oh, Bala sir is saying you are going to do a session on power of compounding. Just wanted to check as to when this is going to be rescheduled. So sir, my time has been a little constrained actually. Okay, only thing I need to make presentation on that, and I'm literally not getting enough time. Because one after another things are happening. A lot of my bandwidth also getting exhausted in a lot of operational related issue, and that's not really allowing me to do what I'm going to do. And hence, I know I have promised you people, just give me a couple of months time, because I think by that time I should be relatively free because we are getting some people on operations, we are getting something on sales and so on and so forth, that will help me to release some of my bandwidth. But it's my promise that I'll do that power of compounding and explain you how this power of compounding works and how you should basically take the maximum advantage of that power of compounding. And in that webinar, Bala sir, I also would request, let each and every family members of yours join, because it's going to be eye-opener for them also. The first thing that anyone should learn in financial learning is the power of compounding. And I've seen that many people are financially illiterate. So they may be doctor, they may be lawyer, they may be architect, they could be a CEO of a company, but they are financially illiterate. And power of compounding is one factor, one data point, which has been not given the due importance as it should be given by many investors. आज आमिर मूड में है, तो he's taking up questions directly. Jayant is saying, I like your analysis. I'm confused with your answer regarding someone asking about locking in profits when his portfolio has gone up. In other of your recent webinars, you mentioned that markets are high and it's a good time to lock in profits. Also, you had mentioned that going forward the next year, the market is likely to have trend with a negative bias going forward. Okay. So, my apologies, sir, that I have not been able to articulate my thoughts well, and that's why it created confusion in your mind. My sincere apology on that front. So, what I'm trying to say, let me rephrase what I wish to convey. I did mention that market is not going to do well in 2024, and even if it is going to do well, it's not going to give us the kind of returns that we have seen in 2023. So that's one, is that setting the expectation right from the market. Now coming to the profit booking, when I said there are many companies, and I again repeat, there are many companies that are running ahead of the fundamentals, and those companies one should actively lock in the profit. That means that at this price, these valuations are not justified, and hence you lock in the profits. But the scrip may have gone up by 50%. Okay, 50 I'm saying, and yet the reason why we bought that company, that reason continues to hold true. Please don't get out of that company. इवन तो 50% चली गई है. Why? Because that company still has a scope of generating higher alpha from this level. So, when I said since market is all-time high, be careful with the stock selection. Because human brain is what? जो चला है उसको लेना है अपने को. And that is called recency bias. I don't want you to basically get into a company at the top of the price. And that's why I said be cautious of what you select. At the same time, reason for you to get out of that company should be very clearly articulated in your mind. I said I am holding some companies for many years now and I'm making handsome profits and still I'm not locking the profits because reason for me, despite I know that market may not do well in 2024, I still continue to hold because my reason for me to hold that company continues to remain there. Am I right? So I hope Jayanji I have been able to articulate. Even somehow if I have still not been able to, please ask again maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow whenever I'm in front of you and I'll be more than happy to answer that. I know there'll be more questions, but in the interest of the time for everyone, I don't want to hold you back from your dinner, from your family time, and hence I would like to conclude here. Thanks a lot everyone taking time out. Market will remain likely to remain little volatile, like to remain choppy purely because of bull and bear both has a valid reasons to take in their stride. Bull believes that BJP strong chance and hence the reforms will continue. Bear thinks the valuations are very, very premium, very, very rich, and from this level, risk reward is not in the favor. Only time will tell who has an upper hand. Have a good night. Take care.